So hi guys, good morning, yes, all of you. So guys, I'm audible. Okay, right. So guys, here the yesterday we started partition tables. Okay, so the partition advantage we said. So instead of searching the table, so when we did the partitions, okay, and searching of a particular area instead of complete area, so it was very easy for us, and the performance wise also it improved your performance. Okay, now, right. So in this, the first one we will discuss, guys, here the range partition we will discuss. Okay, now range partition first we will discuss how to create your range partitions here. So now you can see. So range partition in this method, okay. So in this method, we created partition table. We created partition table. So based on okay range value, some particular range value, we can go to created our partition table. Okay, now. So now, so how it was designed here. So let me see a particular range wise. I can design my partitions now. So now, first of all, we need to go for the syntax here. The first, as usual, you need to create your table, and along with this, so how many columns you required, you can take your columns and data type. Okay, the size, like column number 2. So data type and size. So like you need to design how many tables, also how many columns in the table. So that you have to give it here. Okay. So after that, guys, here, then you need to add your partition tag. So here I need to add my partition. So by range. So, and this partition by range, I'm going to do that based on some key column. The key column name I want to mention here. And after that, you need to take how many number of partitions we need. One second, guys. So guys, now check out my voice. Is it clear for you? Now check out, guys. Is it clear, all of you? My voice is clear now? Okay, right. So let me come out and see here. Okay, right. So now here, so in this case, now what we said, this is our syntax here. So we need to follow as usual your syntax now. So the first one we called as, so partition, and take your partition name. The partition name 1, and we are passing values which is less than of your value. Like you can take one more partition now. So partition, and we can give it here partition number 2. The partition name number 2, and sending values which is less than of value, comma, and so on. Okay, finally close. So here observe guys, here the simple syntax here. So the range partition means what? No, in this method, whatever the table we created here, the partition table, so the table we should create on particular range value. Okay, so then it is called as what now? Range partition we called. Okay, so now the range partition table, when you want to design guys, okay, so we have a small syntax here. Okay, now the syntax is what now? So create table name, and you can give it your number of columns. So that means how many columns you required in your table. You can pass your number of columns here. And after that, you need to add your partition tag, the partition by range. So which type of the partition you want to create on this table? Either you want to create a range or list or hash. Okay, so based on that, the partition by tag you should be give it now. So partition by range, and the ranges, how can you define your range? On which column wise you want to define your range? That column name I need to pass. Yeah, just I'm saying column name or key column name, anything, no problem. Okay, now right. So partition by range on based on particular column wise we need to decide our range. Okay, and after that on this table, so whatever the table I'm creating now, so on this table, how many number of partitions you want to do it? That means how many number of partitions you need to create. So those number of partitions you need to prepare. So this is the syntax of your range partition. Okay, now so let me see the practical one example on this, then you'll get some idea. Okay, let me come back. So go to your database now. So in yesterday we created our own user, so MyDB 11 AM. Okay. Okay, right, you see. So the first of all, just create your table. So table number, for example, test number 20. Okay, and here I will take employee ID number, so my required columns. So whatever you wanted, you can take wildcat 2 of some size. Okay, now let me come out, and after that I'm taking your salary was number. Okay, with some size. So this is table definition guys here. So you all of you know this, how to design your table. Okay, so the table statement syntax, we know that. Okay, so along with that, and if you break this statement, then what it was happen, a normal table is created. That means your table is not doing any partitions here. Okay, it doesn't have any partitions. Okay, but okay, so that's why don't put it here. Okay, semicolon. So now just come out and take your add your partition tag. So partition by range. Okay, and now on which column wise you need to create your partition? That means on which column basis? Okay, so ID, name, and salary, I have 3 columns in my table, but on which column wise you need to create your ranges? So now here I will take salary column. Okay, so now my column name is called as what now? Salary. Okay, this is what, and after that you need how many partitions you want to create on this table. Let me see. The partition P1. Okay, so partition and partition name. What is my partition name? P1. Any name you can give it as your wish. Okay, now so partition P1, and now I'm passing my syntax values less than. Okay, if I was given here, suppose 500 I was given. So it means what now, guys? Here in the partition P1, I can save my data up to the range. So 0 to less than 500. So 0 to 499. So 0 to 499. So this data, that means this range of value, will save under partition P1. Understand now? So same like this, the next partition I will be prepared here, partition P2, and sending values. So I will take less than of, suppose I'm giving here 1500. So it means that the 500 to less than 1500, so that range of data saved under P2 partition, saved under P2 partition. Okay, right. And the next one is called as partition P3, sending values which is less than 2000, less than 2000. So that means 1500 to less than 2000, those values, those particular range values will save under partition number P3. Okay, now, right. And finally, I just close here, and total, how many number of partitions we design, guys? Come on. So total, how many partitions we design in this table? Come on, guys. Yes, the total 3 partitions we design. Okay, so carefully observe. 0 to 900. Okay, so the value 0 to 900. So 0 to 499. This range will be saved under partition P1. Understand now? And the second partition, what now? 5002, that means 500 to 15 means, okay, how much it will come, guys, here? 1499. Okay, now, so this range will save under P2. And the next one is what we said, the 1500, okay, to 2000 means how it will come? Okay, so 1999. So this value range saved under P3. Understand now? So that is the mean of your the statements, whatever we designed here. Okay, that's the mean. Okay, fine. So let me see, I'm going to execute this one. My table successfully created, and this table is having total 3 partitions there. So after divide your partitions based on particular ranges, then what we want to do now, whatever the information we inserted here, the data, okay, while you are inserting time, the based on your salary, okay, based on your partition conditions, that particular data will save under that particular partition. Okay, now see, for example, now I'm going to inserting here. So insert into, my table name is test number 20, and I'm sending some values here. Suppose ID number 101, the name was Smith, okay, and this partition person, the salary I'm going to giving, guys, here, for example, 1200 I'm giving to you. So can you tell me, guys, here, after making your table in 3 partitions, later whatever the user will insert the data into this table to save, okay, so based on the partition ranges, that particular insertion data will save under those particular partitions. So now whenever the users are inserting this data, now tell me, this information will save under P1 or P2 or P3, where it will be saved? P2, yes, correct. So it will save under P2. So next I will go to give it here some more records. I'm going to insert it here, 102 Alan, and now I'm giving here 1800. Okay, so next, okay, 103, the name is Ward. Next I'm giving here 450. Okay, the next I'm giving here 104. Okay, some so King, and this person, okay, the salary was 750. Okay, So like I just saved here. And after saving the information under your test number 20 table, so this is the way data can be saved. So 103, so 450, 101, 1200, 104, 750, 102, 1800. Okay, no? So this is what we call as. So that means after dividing your partitions based on the ranges, later what it was happen when the data will be stored in this table, how the data can be stored means based on their partitions wise. So whenever the data can be stored in the partitions wise, the advantage of user is what now? Later, okay, after data storage, later, if user wanted any particular partition of data, so how they can call. Okay, so they have a syntax, one syntax here. So the syntax is called as, so how to call a particular partition, a particular partition data from a table. So my syntax will be like this here. So select star from your table name, and you need to give it here the partition. Okay, and here you can give the partition name. Okay, now let me see. Suppose now I'm going to pass in here which particular partition of data do you want it here from your table. So the partition name you can pass here. Okay, now so after passing this, then can go to call here. Okay, so how this partition will be call it here. Observe. So let me see. Suppose if I want to call. So select start from test number 20. So, and I'm using your partition and off. Suppose P2 I'm calling now. So when I call partition P2, so under P2, whatever the data was there as per the given ranges, so that particular partition of data, we can get it now. So now we can see guys here, the 750 and 1200. So this two will comes under which partition here? Second partition, because second partition range is how much here? The 500 to 1500. So 500 to 1500 is comes under P2 partition. So now, yes, 750 is above 500 and 1200 is also above 500 and below 1500. So that one, what it was happened based on this partition name. So directly it will go that particular partition and fetching your data from the table. Understand that? Fetching your data from the table. So that was directly happening here. Okay. So that means that the remaining data will not be set. The remaining data will not be set by your Oracle server. So it was directly going to that particular partition and taking your remaining, okay, data from your table. In the same pattern, suppose if I'm going to ask here the P1. So in the P1, whatever it was there, directly the P1 data will be fetching from the table. Okay. In the same pattern, if I ask here P3, in P3, what it was come here, 1800, it will come out. Okay, so this is what it was happen, guys. Okay, so that means whatever the partitions, the ranges we given, as per the ranges, it will be getting out. So now here one more point here, observe. So here my range was up to 2000, I was given less than 2000. Suppose when you want to insert the data more than 2000 now, what it was happen, you can see. 105. Some name is Miller. Okay, suppose I'm giving 2500. Okay, so here my ranges, the first range is 0 to less than 500. Second range is, okay, 500 to less than 1500. And third partition, okay, 1500 to less than 2000. But here, these are my ranges, okay. But here I was inserted how much here? 2500. But tell me guys here, 2500 range value partition is there in my table? Is there in my table? No, it is not there. So not there, then what it was happened, sir? Okay, let me see. I'm executing. When we executed, what it was happening, you can see the inserted partition key does not map to any partition. So the point understand now? So whatever and how many partitions you prepared on your table, the based on particular ranges, in that range values only accepted. Okay, now in that range values only accepted. But if you are giving, if we are giving the more than that range, okay, if we are giving more than that range, then immediately it was showing a error. So now this point is clear, all of you. This point is clear, all of you. Come on. Okay, now right. So this is what it was happen, guys, here. Okay, so this is what we called as here range partition, we called. Okay, range partition we called. In the same pattern, the next one is called as what now? Okay, what is our next one is called list partition now. So list partition, what it was tell us. Okay, now check it out. So in this method, okay, in this method, we created a partition table based on list of values. Okay, right. So here some list of values I'm going to passing. Okay, I'm going to passing what now? Some list of values. So then what is the syntax for this? So same syntax. So come back to here. So now the syntax will be observed. Now syntax is what now? Create table name, column 1, column 2, and so on. So partition by here, okay, list. Partition by here, list. And same, on which column wise do you want to prepare your partitions? So that you have to mention here. Okay, now, so after mention this one, okay, after mention, then now here partition, okay, and here I just remove this. So I'm saying just values. Okay, I remove this. I just say values. So here value 1 comma, so value 2 comma, and so on. We can pass like this. And here partition P2, and here less than, I just avoid here. And here also value 1 comma, so value 2 comma, and so on. Okay, and finally you can design like this, number of partitions you can design now. So after design the partitions, okay, now later the next one is what now? The partition, okay, others, okay, partition others, and sending values here, the values of default. Okay, values of default. So now in this case, what it was happen, you can see in the list partition, okay, so you can design your number of partitions based on your list of values. So whatever the list values are you sending here, so based on that, okay, your partitions are prepared here. After preparing your partitions now, so then last one is what now? Others partition is there. It's called a default partitions. Okay, so now default partition is there. So when default partition is there here, so other than these list values, if you inserted any other value, the other value will, that's called others, other value will save under default, okay, save under default partition. Understand now? So let me see one practical example on this, then you will get some idea. Okay, let me combine. So come back here and create your table first of all. The create table, the test number 21. Okay, And here I will take course ID, okay, comma, and course name. Okay. So, and later I need to add your partition by list tag of the which column. The column is course name. Okay. Then after that, I need to prepare my partitions, partition P1 and sending values. For example, in this, I'm passing C, C++. Okay. These are the some list values I'm sending in this two course. Okay. Two courses. And now next one is called as a partition P2. And here I'm sending some, okay, like Oracle. Okay. So now I'm sending here MySQL. Okay. And I'm sending here, okay, MS SQL. Okay. Now these are the list. And after that, the put it comma, and the next one is called as what now? Partition others. Okay. And sending your values of default. Okay. And close. That means when I inserted my C, C++, these two course details are saved under P1 partition. Understand now? C, C++ will save under partition P1. And when I inserted Oracle, MySQL, and MS SQL, so these three are saved under P2 partition. Suppose other than these courses, okay, my point understand now? Other than these courses, if you insert any other course, that other course will save under other partitions, okay, by default. So by default, it will be saved under others partition. Okay, now let me see. To close this and table is created, that's fine. And let me come out and insert now. So insert into test number 21, and I'm sending some values here. So course ID 1, and if I send C, so the C language, that means this information will be saved under which partition, guys? Come on, the C information saved under which partition? Yeah, P1 partition, it will be saved. So now in the come out here, the next, the second I'm giving, okay, for example, Java. So when I inserted Java, so Java is storing under which partition? P1, P2, or others? Where it will be saved? Yeah, it will be saved by default others. Okay, fine. And next, if I inserted 3, I'm inserting here, for example, .NET. So this is also having into others. Suppose I'm giving 4 and passing here Oracle. So it will be, suppose if I'm passing 5 and I'm passing here MS SQL. Okay, so now, so like we can insert data and finally come back to your table and see your test number 21. Okay, now, right. So now this is the way the data arrangement here. Okay, the data, how it was arranged here means based on our conditions wise. So data can be arranged here. So after arranging your data in your table based on the partitions wise, then user will call the particular partition of data, whatever you wanted from this table. So now I'm going to using here the select a star from test number 21, and I'm using here the partition and the name of the partition. If I wanted P2, let me see, Oracle and MS SQL. So these two courses are having under partition P2. Okay, right. So now these two courses, whatever these two courses are there, these two courses comes under partition P2. Okay, now, so partition P2 course details are, we got it. And in the same to same, if I'm asking here the P1 and executed now, the P1 means what it was comes here, C language, because we have only C language in the partition P1. So then it was showing that C language information from the partition P1, right? And the same to same. And the next level here, suppose you should call here others. When we call others here, let me see to execute it now. So others, what it was, Java and .NET. So these two courses, okay, and these two technologies will comes under the others category. Okay, now, so these are what now the list partitions we can go to use like this. Okay, right. And the next one is called as the next partition is called as what now? Ash partition now. Okay, ash partition. So what is ash partition here? Observe. What is ash partition here? Observe. So this partition, okay, remember guys here, this partition, okay, is created by your Oracle database server by default. So that means here range and the list partitions are created by user. So as per my need and necessity, as per our requirement basis, we are arranging particular ranges and we are arranging our data particular list. Okay, that our choice. That means user choice. Okay, so we can customize like that. Whatever we want it, as per our user requirement basis, we can customize our data, how to store. Okay, but when come to as partition is not like that. So ash partition, what it will do now? So just user sending the request to my Oracle server, then how many number of partitions you wanted? Okay, now, so how many number of partitions I wanted on this table? So the request I'm sending to server, but I'm not creating any partitions here. Okay, the point, understand all of you? I'm not creating any partitions. I just go to, okay, requesting to my server. Okay, so how it will be. Okay, now, so in that case, how to request to my server? Just I'm sending request. So my request is, so create table and should be pass your table name. So and send your required columns, whatever you want it here. Okay, and like column number 2 and data type. So give it size. Okay, so comma and so on. And here I need to add my tag here. The which tag means partition by ash tag. And here compulsory we should give it on which column basis are you creating or do you want to create your partition. The column name must and should be mentioned there. And after that, okay, after that you need to tag like this. So partitions and how many number of partitions you wanted. Okay, that request you have to send it to your Oracle server. Okay, now see here, can you identify in my syntax here? I'm not designing any partition. Yes or no? I'm not designing any partitions, but just I'm just calling my request partitions. How many partitions you wanted? That number you have to pass. Okay, so how many you wanted? 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 or 40 or 50 or 100. So how many number of partitions you wanted on this table? Okay, the request I'm sending to my Oracle. Okay, now, but can you see here we are designing any partitions here? Come on, guys. We are designing any partitions here? No. So we are not designing any partitions. We are just sending our request to our Oracle. Okay, let me see the practically here. So come back and see now. So create table, test number 22. Suppose employee name, varchar to of some size, and sal is number. Okay, and after that you need to tag your partition by ash. I just tag here on my salary column. Then how many partitions you wanted, then you can send 5. So whenever I am sending this guys here, let me see what it was happening. Okay, so now how many partitions I wanted, I said. So 5 partition. So let me see to execute this one. My table is created. So my table is successfully created, guys. Here the total 5 partitions I wanted on this table. So 5 partitions are created or not. Suppose if you're sending your request to your server, but the server is created my 5 partitions or not. Suppose you want to see that. Okay, if you want to view the number of partitions 5 was created on your table or not. So that kind of information do you want to see? There is one data dictionary is there, guys, here, that is called user underscore tab underscore partitions. So with the help of this data dictionary, I can see so how many number of partitions are there on this table. We are sending 5, then your system is created 5 partitions on this table or not. So let me check out here. So now I'm executing. So in this, so we have your table name, and here, can you see the partition name is there? Understand? So now let me call. So select my partition name from user underscore tab. Okay, underscore. So what is our data dictionary name? Partitions. So where? So table underscore name is equals to test number 22. Okay, so with the help of this data dictionary, I can see my partitions. How many number of partitions are you created on this table test number 22? So let me see to execute this one, guys, here. Let me see the partition names are there. But can you see the partition names, how it was designed means SYS P1102 3 4 5 6. But here, can you see SYS? SYS means what, guys? Come on. What it mean, SYS? It's a user defined or system defined? Yes, it's a system defined. Yes or no? That's why SYS system defined. P is nothing but partition. The partition number 1102. Partition number 1103. Partition number 1104. Partition number 1105. Partition number 1106. So as per my request, whatever the request I'm sending here, as per this request, how many partitions was designed, guys? Yeah, total 5 partitions is designed. So same like this, suppose if I want to see the previous tables, okay, the 20th table, if I see on 20th table, we are created. Okay, now we are created how many partitions by our names I was given. So P1, P2, P3. This is range partitions here. Suppose on the table of test number 21, if I want to view this, then here, so P1, P2 and others. Okay, so these partitions are designing by who is this? User was designed, and these partitions are designed by system. Okay, now, so this is how we can go to preparing your system defined is one thing and user defines how to prepare here. Okay, right. And the later on, so suppose here observe in my test number 20 table present, how many number of partitions are there here? Test number 20 table. How many partitions we have? 3 partitions are there. Okay. Suppose you need to add a new partition to my existing table. Okay. I need to add, okay, new partition to my existing table. So how we can add it? Okay. Here the syntax is observed. The syntax was here what now? The adding a new partition to an existing table. Okay, one syntax for range partition. Okay, syntax for range. Suppose you need to add your range partition. Okay, so now how we can add it here? Observe. So alter table name. So I'm using your add keyword. What I need to add here means I need to add here partition. Add partition, and you need to give partition name. Okay, now you need to give partition name. partition name and send it your values less than of value. Okay, now this is what we called as, guys, here a syntax for range partition. Suppose you need to add syntax for list partition. Okay, syntax for list partition, then you need to add like this. So alter table name, add, okay, so partition, and I want to give the partition name, and here sending values of, so value 1 comma value 2 comma and so on. This is list partition, guys. So range partition and list partitions, this is the syntaxes of your partitions. Okay, now so now, but as partitions, that's a default, system will take care of that. So as per your request, it will be sending to you. Okay, those are created by system, but these are created by our wish. We can add it here. Okay, so now this is what, so adding new partitions to that. So if you want to add a range partition syntax is this one. Okay, now, and if you want to add a list partition, then list partition syntax is this one. Okay, now, right, but as partitions we cannot add it because as partitions are created by who? System. So we are not created, so that's why we can't add it here. Okay, like let me see the practically here observe. So now present my test number 20 is having already 3 partitions are there. So already 3 partitions are there here, the partition number 3. Suppose we have to add one more, so I can say alter table test number 20. So I'm using add. So what we need to add here, the partition P4, and I'm sending values which is less than 2. I'm taking here 3000, because can you remember the partition P3 range is what now? Less than 2000. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Come on. Yes, definitely. And there what happened, guys, here? There we cannot insert more than 2000 value now. Yes or no? So we cannot insert more than 2000 value or not. So when we try to insert a 2500, so what it was happened, guys, there it was showing error. Yes or no? So there it was showing error because our limit is what now? Less than 2000 only our limit. Yes or no? But more than that we can't insert. Suppose if you want to insert more than that, then what we want to do, we need to add one more partition here. Concept understanding now? Yes or no? If you want to add more than 2000, then you can add one more partition. That as your request. As your request, you can add one more partition. So now I'm adding here 3000 here. Okay, fine. Let me see to execute now. Table is alter. So after alter this table and come to your data dictionary and to execute now, see your partition P4 is added. Come on, guys. The partition P4 is added now. Yes, added. And after added, you just come out and see your table test number 20. Okay, this is actually our data. But now I'm inserting here the insert into test number 20 and sending values of, okay, then I will send like 105 and some name is Miller. And now I'm sending 2500. Now tell me, guys, now 2500, can I add it now? Can I add it now? Yes. Now let me see what it was happened. Yes, your data successfully added. Okay, so because of reason, my limit is what now? The P4 limit is what now? Less than 3000 is my limit. So now 2500 successfully accepted. But this 2500 of data saved under which partition? Yes, partition P4. And let me call your table. So first of all, I'm calling my table. This data successfully added into your table. The 2500 105 Miller is added. And this one, if I want to call, like select the star from test number 20, and I'm saying here the partition of the P4, let me see the 2500 it was comes. Okay, now, but now tell me guys here, suppose if I try to insert it, okay, now try to insert it 3200 if I insert it, can I? No, we cannot. Why? Because my partition P4 limitation, how much here? Less than 3000 only limited. But more than that, I can't. Suppose if you inserted more than that. So what it was happening, you can see it was showing again error. And what it was saying that inserted partition key does not map to any partition. Okay, now. So this is what guys here, when you want to add your partitions, you can add. The same like this, your list partition also, you can do it. Okay, this is one. And in the same pattern, the next one is how to dropping the partitions here. This is adding, and now I'm going to dropping a partition. Okay, dropping a partition from my table, from an existing table. So this example, list example, I was given in the documentation. Okay, now that is your practicing purpose. I'm leaving here so that you have to do practice. Okay, next, dropping partitions. So how to drop your partition now? So here also we have a syntax. Carefully observe. So here, alter table and table name. Okay, alter table name, and I'm using your drop. What I need to drop here, partition, and give it a which partition, which specific partition do you want to drop? Which specific partition do you want to drop? Okay, so that you have to check it out. Let me come on. So let me see. For example, suppose when come to the 21 partition table, I will check it. There are 3 partitions are there. Okay, fine. And let me come out and see to 21 here. Okay. So this is what. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just dropping this alter table, the test number 21, and I'm using drop, then partition key I'm using, the partition, and P1 I'm dropping now. So P1 means in P1, okay, what I kept, C language I kept. Yes or no? C and C++ is comes under which category? P1. And the P1 is there here. Okay, let me see if I executed this one, what it was happening. You can see the table is successfully altered. Okay, and now come back and see your partition 21. So let you see my partition P1 is successfully dropping from test 21 table. Is it clear? Come on, guys. So we drop or not? Yes, we dropped here. So we dropped here, that's okay. But under P1 partition, whatever the data was there, the data is drop or not? What is your guessing, guys? In P1 partition, whatever the data we saved here, okay, the data also drop from your table, otherwise only partition will be dropped. Data also drop. Yes, definitely. Data also drop. Why? Because the partition we created with the help of some data, right? Partition is created, and in the partition data also there now. Yes or no? So whenever you drop your partition, automatically in the partition, whatever the data was there, the data also dropping here. Okay, let me see. I'm calling my table. Is it drop or not? Test number 21 and see. The C language was drop here. Yes, the C language is drop. So that means once you drop your partition, okay, in the partition, whatever the data is there, data also deleted from your table. Okay. So now we can see, so partition deleted, and along with partition, whatever the data was there in the P1 is also deleted. Okay. Now, so now this is what how to dropping your partitions. Okay. And the next one is, guys, here, how I knows this table is partition or not. Okay, because I have so many tables in my database. Okay, I have so many tables are there in database. But how I knows that, okay, yes, this table already partition. Yes, this table is not partition. Okay, how you knows? Because I have hundreds of tables in my database. I have hundreds of tables in my database. But how I knows that which table is partition? So this table is partition or not? How we can check it means, yes, we can check, okay, with the help of one data dictionary is there. And the data dictionary is called as what now? Okay, user underscore tables. User underscore tables. In this, there are so many columns are there, guys, here. But in this one of my column, can you see here? Partition column is there. Partition. Okay, now this column you should take it here. So this, okay, so I just taken out and now let me come out and see. So now I'm going to call it here. Select a partition from user underscore tables. So where table underscore name is equals to, for example, yesterday I created, I think so, test number 11, I created test number 1 something. Okay, otherwise before that, what I am doing here, first I want to check my tab list. Okay, these are present some tables we have in our user database now. Okay, so now let me come out and see, select, and here I want to give it here the partition. Okay. Select partition, and from user underscore tables. Okay, user underscore tables, where table underscore, so name is equals to test number 1 I'm giving now. So your test number 1 I have in the list. That means in my database, a test 1 was there. Okay, now, but let me see, this test 1 is partitioned or not, that I have to check. So I checked here. What it was say? Your test 1 is partitioned or not? Come on, guys. Partitioned or not? No, your test 1 table is not a partition. So like this, suppose you have to check one more table, test number 3. The test number 3 is also not partition. So you're also saying that no, this table is not a partition. Okay, but now you can pass it here. The test number 21 I'm passing now. The test number 21, if I'm passing, is it partition? Is it partition, guys? Yes, it is a partition. Okay, now, so like this, okay, we need to check whether a table is partition or not. Okay, now, so this is one small topic. Partition table is a small topic in our database here. So that we finished here. Okay, and this complete notes material I will send to you into Google Classroom. Okay, right. And I stop it, guys, here. And tomorrow we'll take one more new topic in our SQL. Okay, now? Right, guys. So I stop it here and we'll continue on tomorrow's session. So thank you. Thank you so much.